All right, guys, we're ready to move on. We're going to move on to the next step. But what I want to do now is I want to give you guys a bit of an update. I want to update you guys what we've done so far to this model kit. You remember in the earlier videos, we put the power supply together, and that was back in step 1. And we secured it. It's going to be powered. It's low voltage, so none of the bulbs require resistors. Then we put the drill together. You guys remember that used 2 AA batteries for the micro drill, and that was easy to set up. Step 3, we moved on to the base. We had done the base, and I painted it in silver and gold because I thought it looked really nice. Step 4, we painted the inside of the parts of the ship, and I used the chrome paint to reflect it nicely. We moved on to step 5, and that was the channeling of the areas on the saucer pylons to the secondary hull body to pass the wires through. So we had dug the trenches, we put the wires through, we patched it up with the plastic putty, and then we had painted and completed the bottom of the secondary hull. Moving on to step 6, we put the terminal, that was, the power jack into the base, and we put the deflector dish on. We painted the navigational deflector. We did the reflector cup and the source light, and we got that ready. When we moved on to step 7, we got the power jack all set. We got it connected, and we soldered the wires into place for the power supply that would lead to the nacelles. We did the engine light connections, and we did the powers to the cord, and we powered up the bulb, the light source A, that's going to light up the fiber optics in the secondary hull and the saucer pylon. We then moved on to step 8, which was the bottom of the primary hull, and because the instructions call for putting the whole model together, and then at the end masking it off and painting it, and then trimming off the fiber optics. What I elected to do instead was to paint each section, because I'm using the chalky paint, and I'm sealing it as we go along and doing the decals and everything. So we're kind of doing the finishing steps for each section as we move along. And we moved on to step 9, and that was when we measured out the fiber optic cables, and we started using it. Step 10, if you guys remember, we did the back of the dorsal hull or saucer pylon, and we put the strands in. We did the walls for the dorsal hull or the saucer pylon, and we bundled all the fiber optics together. We used the micro drill. We drilled out, and we inserted each strand individually into the hole, which they're just like hairs. And let's see, what else did we do in that? That was that section. We also put on the decals. You guys remember we used the painting guide as a guide for all the decals, placement of the decals, and we painted the phaser arrays. And then that brought us up, once we got done the bottom of the secondary hull and the bottom of the primary hull, we went on to step 12, and that was the gluing of the saucer pylon onto the secondary hull. We painted, we put the decals on, we did the detailing with the windows, as well as inserting the fiber optics. We moved on to step 13, which was putting the fiber optics into the retainer plug, bundling all the fiber optic cables together so they would light evenly, and we tested it. We went to step 14, which we put the reflector cup into the bottom of the primary hull. We also wired the bottom of the primary hull. We went to step 15, which is where we are now. You guys also note I put lights in to light the impulse engines. That did not come with the kit. It was not going to be lit if you follow the instructions. These are low voltage bulbs that I had extra from my other fiber optic kit, the Enterprise Incident. So that kind of brings us up to where we are now. Right now, we're up to step 15. You can see step 15. We're going to put the fiber optic cables into the bottom of the saucer section. Bundle and tape 30 of the 14-inch and 30 of the 10-inch fiber optic strands together. Position the fiber optic bundle into the reflector cup and spread the strands out along the inside of the lower main hull and select the windows to drill. Note, use the longer strands to reach the outer edge. Use the micro drill to carefully drill 60 holes in the lower main hull. Affix the fiber optics to the pre-drilled windows as you did in the previous steps. Note, the staples can be used to help organize the strands of fiber optics. However, the cement may damage the strands. It must be used sparingly and sure to allow enough length for the strands to reach the light source. I'm not going to use the staples. I'll do one to show you guys how to use them. If you want to use them in your kit, I'll show you how to put them on and to secure the cables, but I'm not going to use them. So we're going to get right to step 15. You can see all the steps up to date. And what we're going to do now is we're going to actually drill the bottom of the primary hull. So we're going to have 60 windows that are going to be drilled. There's going to be 30 in the outer rims, and there's going to be 30 in the inner parts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 30 and 30 and spread them as evenly as possible. So let's get right to that. And we got the drill. And it would have been nice if they would have had us do this before gluing it to the secondary hull. So now I have to figure out how I'm going to place this so it doesn't damage the inside. Let's see. What if I do this? All right, I'm going to do that. That way there, everything inside will be protected. And we can start drilling. Again, it calls for 60. So I'm going to do half and half. I'm going to do 30 on one side and 30 on the other side. All right, so we did 60 holes. We got 60 of the windows drilled, so we can put this back. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use a brush, and I'm going to brush away all of the little plastic squiggle pieces. Let's see, I got a nice big brush to do that. You guys remember we had painted and sealed the bottom of this primary hull. We also put the decals on. And when it's all done, I'll put a light coat of sealer over the entire thing. Okay, so that looks a little bit better. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see the holes, but what we're going to do is we're going to start inserting the strands, and then I'm going to glue them into place, just like we did for the secondary hull. So it's 30 of the 14-inch cables. So let's get those ready. We have the 14-inch, and the other ones are 30 of the 10-inch. So we got the 10-inch. We'll use the 10-inch ones first to do the inner parts. And again, I like to use the Plastruct bonding. I've got a bottle of that right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert the strands. I'm going to put them about 1/8 of an inch in, and then I'm going to glue it. So let's start the painstaking process of putting in the shorter ones first. We're going to start by putting the 10-inch ones from the inner part. Okay, so it looks like we have the inner ones all set. You can see, looks like a bunch of hairs coming out. So those were the 10-inch ones. So now we're going to do the outer side, or the outer edge, and we're going to use the 14-inch ones. Okay, so I think I got most of the holes. And as luck would have it, the drill bit broke. And it figures, because all we have to do is drill the upper primary hull. And they only give one drill bit. The drill bit is broken, so I got to figure out what I'm going to do when I drill the upper part of the primary hull. But I think I got all of the fiber optics in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it dry, and then we're going to bundle them together. You can see it looks like a bunch of hairs. So we're going to bundle them together, we're going to tape them, and then I'll show you what it looks like, and we'll try lighting it up. Okay, so I got some of them bundled. Let's go ahead and let's put the lights out, and I'm going to see how many of them actually light up. You can see there's some that still have to go in. So we got some of them bundled. We're going to have to bundle the rest. Okay, so I'm trying to get all the loose ones in, and as I'm going along, all the loose ones that are there, I'm kind of just taping individually just to get them all bundled, just to get them all together. And those of you that have made this model know that it's pretty tricky to get them all into one. Maybe what I should have done was if I would have counted out 30 and kept them attached at the end, but then you still have the problems of using them individually. So whatever way works for you. It looks like I've got them all. And these are going to be going into the cup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim off that way there it can go into the cup. And these are old, so they're kind of brittle. And they're going to go right into the cup when they get attached to the bundle from the top. So that's going to go in like that. And what I want to do is I want to get them all together. All right, where's that, the light? So let's see how it looks. So let's put the lights off. And we're going to put the bundle just like that. So let me try to put it where you guys can see what it's going to look like. If you guys can see the bottom. When we trim them down, they'll get, some of them will be more visible. And this is a pain, guys, but you gotta, if you want them all to light, they all have to be on. Because if they're off and they're not even with the other filaments that are cut, they're not going to light up. The light won't reach them. And I know this is kind of a pain, but it looks like they're all set now. And like I said, when we finish gluing the top hull on, we'll cut the bottoms. We'll trim all of them. So my friends, that was step 15. And I wanted to give you guys an update, and I wanted to do step 15 for you. So we're going to move on to the next video, and that's going to be the bridge, the upper part of the primary hull, and the island, B and C decks. And then we're going to be painting, decaling, detailing, and then putting the fiber optics into the top of the saucer. So until that video, my friends, I'll see you very, very soon. Thank you for watching.